Hey, good afternoon, and welcome to Mark and Mark in the Midday. And today we've got ourselves an extra special guest. My partner in crime, Mr. Mark Littell, was working a card show, and he met up with one of the all-time Cardinal greats, Mr. Julian Javier, and we are so blessed to have him on the show. Welcome this afternoon, Mr. Javier.
Thank you very much.
I don't know if you know this, but there's a actual site out there called Cardinal Nation, and they voted on the top 40 Cardinals of all time, and you came in number 35.
Oh, that's good. Good.
Considering the 125 years history of the Cardinals to be one of the 35 best players on one of the elite franchises, that's pretty darn impressive.
Well, that was great. So I feel great too, and to be named like the 35 ball player on the St. Louis Cardinal.
The one thing I remember when I was a young man myself, but was watching one of my favorites, which is sitting next to me now, and I'm so fortunate to be with him, was when he was playing second. And they had the 64 team, they had the 67 World Series team, and Julian Javier was actually signed by Pittsburgh, which I did not know until we had a little chat over breakfast this morning. And so he signed with Pittsburgh, and I think you said it was 1960 or 61 that you came over to the Cardinals. Is that right?
In 1960.
1960, he was at the minor league level, and the Cardinals traded. And he was in Columbus when he came up to the Cardinals and became a Major League ball player for 13 Major League seasons. And just to see him right here, but I remember quite well. I was watching a ball game with my parents, and we had relatives down in Houston at the Colt 45s, which was a glorified minor league ballpark at the time, I guess you might say.
Probably real hot too.
Extremely hot, and the mosquitoes were with us as well.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, the mosquitoes were there for sure because they had the foggers out. And then
they were the size of horses.
Oh yeah, and then with also you could see the Astrodome was being built right behind the stadium over there, and but I saw Julian Javier with Mr. Dick Grote turn a double play in the Colt 45 stadium one night, and Grote got the ball and he slipped it between his legs, and Javier slipped between his. They turned a double play, and I just unbelievable. Were you always that classy, Julian, with that slick glove?
Well, I had to use my glove, because my hearing wasn't that big at that time, so. I used to use it because, and we have a going fit too on.
Oh yeah.
And I had to use it at that time.
So you had, what did you say? You had Moon Man or Mike Shannon?
Well, yeah, we have the Moon Man and playing third.
Yeah.
And Grote, Main, and Bill White in fourth.
Yeah.
Brock, Flood, and Shannon in the outfield.
Yeah. And Bob,
I think it was your Torre playing for those too.
And then Bob Skinner played a little bit of outfield, maybe.
Sure, Bob Skinner played for us.
Yeah. And then catching, was it McCarver?
Yeah, McCarver was catching. Yeah.
So,
no, I don't think so.
No?
McCarver was down in the minor league.
Minor league, so.
I think it was Smith, some guy named Smith.
Okay. And then
Carl Sawatsky.
Yeah. Oh, so that's exactly right. I forgot about that. And then you've had Kurt Simmons was there as a pitcher. Schultz was the pitching coach, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, George
Schultz. He was actually the closer for them in 1964.
Well, they didn't have closers, but whatever we called them back then. But they were just
the guy who finished the game.
Well, in 1964, what year are you saying? In 1964?
Yeah.
Yeah, we got a lot of closer, but they never pitch because the only pitching that we have is that they throw 9 innings.
That's exactly right. Back then you throw 9 innings because I know Gibson, he'd run Barney Schultz off the mound, and he'd probably run Red Shane. Shane didn't go out on Gibson because Gibson tell him how it was.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Am I right? Yes.
Yeah. Gibson, what you doing here?
What are you doing here?
You don't pitch.
Yeah. I think he said one time. I said to him. He said, "Hey, you don't pitch," and he said. He says, you probably don't know. He says, the only thing you know about, hitting anyway is it's hard to hit. I mean, it's hard to do, And he says, yeah.
Yeah, right.
But,
now, I was going to say, you had a nickname. Obviously, your teammates called you Hoolie, but Tim McCarver called you the Phantom because he said you had this uncanny knack of being able to avoid base runners sliding into you at second base. How were you able to do that?
Well, you have to learn that. Because if you stay on the base, they're going to kill you. So you have to jump around so nobody can hit you because, like I say, you get killed.
Well, let me ask you something. What did Mazeroski do? He just pretty much stood his ground, didn't he? Did he try to, he threw at people if they hit him, didn't he, Mazeroski?
Well, Mazeroski he was a good second baseman.
Yeah.
One of the best, I mean.
Mm-hmm.
And he got hit sometimes. Yeah. And stay on the base, and he got hit sometimes. So I try not to get hit. Jump around and try to not to get hit because if somebody hit you, going to kill you.
Exactly.
Like Mazeroski too. We do the same. So I used to jump for more than him. So I get by.
What is one of your favorite moments? I know everybody asks you this, but I'm trying to pick on the '64 World Series because you got Lou over there then, Lou Brock, and he was a big help, I think.
Yeah, Lou helped a lot. I didn't play in the World Series because
that's right.
Somebody hit me in my hip. So I didn't play. I played one inning, and when I went to hit, I can hit.
That's right.
Chevron team brought a pinch hitter for me.
And then you got the '67 World Series. You were in that one.
Yeah.
Oh, you made it to the '67 series.
I have a good series.
Longboard, what happened in Game 2?
Wow. Lombo was here signing with me, so he told me that you hit me the long ball too, and he said, and then he said, "Dang, you got to hit too. You break my no hitter." I said, "What?" I had to do it because somebody else going to do it. You know what I mean?
That was in the 8th inning, right?
Yeah, that was in the 7th or 8th inning. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So they said today somebody called me and he told me that what's going to happen today. He said, well, he'll pitch again. I'm going to get a couple of bases against him. He was signing today.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you, we're talking today with Julian Javier, voted number 35 all-time great on the St. Louis Cardinals list, and a man who hit .333 in the World Series. So you responded well to pressure. I mean, hitting .333 career in the World Series with almost 60 at-bats tells me that when the moments were big, you got bigger.
Yeah, yes. I was a good clutch hitter. Every time I see, I don't like to see a man in second base because I bring it in all the time. And this is what happened.
How did Marshall? How did he pitch the Julian Javier? Yeah, he was a pretty darn good pitcher.
Well, I used to hit him good, you know. Like he used to pitch good to me, and I used to hit it good to him. So I don't care who pitch him because you have to hit it anyway.
Well, and the reason he hit it good against him is so he could have bragging rights back in the Dominican Republic. You know, so he went back there.
Yeah, maybe he tell me this is his fastball.
No, I doubt that.
No, he's just kidding.
That's not going to happen at all.
But he was good. Marichal was a good pitcher.
Oh, yeah.
Gibson and Marichal was the two best pitchers at that time.
What did you think of Koufax?
Great pitch. He was a great pitch.
Yeah.
You see how hard he throw on the breaking pitch is good.
Yeah.
Is it true that Koufax tipped his pitches and people knew that they were coming, but they still couldn't hit them anyway?
Nobody can hit it, you know. every time he throws a fastball, the ball jump up, and nobody can hit it. That's why he won so many games.
Yeah. Did his partner in crime, Don Drysdale, ever throw at you?
Well, Drysdale was worse. He comes far armor, you know.
Yeah.
Wow, he was about 6'7", something like that. You had to get out of the way.
Yeah.
He was a good pitcher, too.
Yeah, he had a little bit of movement, so that ball would run right into your ribs.
It break you back all the time.
Well, you guys had a great rivalry with the Dodgers in the mid-'60s. Every year it was the Dodgers or the Cardinals who were winning the pennant. Did you guys really feel that rivalry? Was it like when you saw you played the Dodgers, were you guys up for it more than anybody else?
Well, you know, we play real hard against some teams like the Dodgers and Giants, and we got a pitcher here. We want him to pitch every day. Justin, they never can hit him. He shut up then all the time. He pitch again then. Larry Justin.
Mm-hmm.
He shut up then 5 times. You know, so we got ready for the Dodgers in those years.
Yeah. Well, there's so much going on here in St. Louis with Julian Javier. We had Jim Lombard in here, and it was fun to see this big guy. I didn't know Lombard was actually so big. I'm sure Julian probably did, but that was the first time I'd ever met him. And so you live in Dominican, and how has the game changed a little bit over in Dominican since you played?
I think the game is the same. The only change is the money. A lot of money now. Before you got a penny.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
I told you, when I see my son play the first year, I told him, you're making more money than your first year than I played 12 years. And I play the whole 12 year.
Yeah.
And in 1 year you make more than me.
That's about right.
You start laughing.
You know, you have a couple grandsons that play baseball, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Oh yeah, I got 3. They playing. They're big kids. They're 6'4", 6'5".
Wow.
And they play in Florida, in Naples, Florida. They play for the high school.
Oh yes. Uh-huh.
And Northern Puerto Rico. He graduated from high school now.
Okay.
And they play. They're going to sign some ball club. I don't know who, but they're going to sign. Maybe this year.
Were you more nervous batting or playing in the World Series yourself, or watching your son when he played in the World Series in 1989 for the A's?
I told you I don't watch the game too much when they play because I just like it's true. I get a little nervous. And but in the World Series, I don't think I never have a little nervous. You know, I go play my game and forget about the people in the a lot of people in the stand. You know, in the grandstand all over.
But of course, when your son is
I don't think I got nervous.
Of course, when your son's playing, it's tough you can't do anything but watch, so that makes you nervous. True or false, you named your son after your former teammate and friend, the great Stan the Man Musial?
Well, you know, yeah, I feel, he was, he was feeling good when he born, you don't know nothing about it. You lady, when he find out, when he was big, why my name is Stan? They say for the big ball players, St. Louis, big guy, big gentleman that play for St. Louis. And he got happy. You know, every time he come here and the music and him get together, and he take him to replay or something. Every time he call him. And my son, I tell you, when you get to St. Louis, you call him.
Yeah, I'm sure. Well,
I have never heard anybody ever say a bad word about Stan Musial. He was just that great of a guy.
Oh, he was a gentleman, a great ball player. He was everything.
Now, the one thing that we had in common that we both of us, even there's a little bit of age difference right here. We had the same clubhouse guy. His name was Butch Yakima.
Oh, man.
Oh my gosh. Butch wasn't even 5 feet tall.
He was 3 feet tall.
Yeah, he's about 3 feet, but he acted like he was 8 feet tall.
Looked like he was 8 feet, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Every time you talk to him, he go, ah.
Yeah. Yeah, boy. I think Butch, Julian, when he came up, Stan Javier was standing around Butch and him talking or something, and he heard him say, well, what number do you want? He says, well, what number? And he said, well, what number did you have in the minor leagues? He says, well, I had number 6. And, of course, that's Stan Musical's number. And, of course, that got solved real fast. So he ends up with number 25. And I thought that was pretty good. And I had to run in the number with Butch for real, but I kind of came out ahead a little bit. But he said, I like this guy, and that's the last time I ever heard him say that when he was talking to Bing about me. He said, I kind of like this guy. And he never said it again.
Well, you know, the Bing Bing trained me to got me from Pittsburgh to St. Louis.
Yes.
With me, he was a real nice guy.
Yes.
And I think he was nice guy. And then when I came to St. Louis, I feel good because the major league is the best thing can do for a ball player.
Yes.
You know how to do nothing. You know how to move everything. They take everything. You know how to take nothing from the ballpark. The guy in the clubhouse take it down everything. You know. So I think good when I came by the major.
Well, Julian Javier has been with us today, and we thank you very, very much for your time. Your very precious time here, because I'm a very big fan of his, and I finally saw him in the flesh, which was really good. And he, too, is quite the gentleman. So it's Mark and Mark, and we're going to close this out. Julian, thank you for being here today with us.
Thank you. I'm sorry for my English.
Yeah, your English is just great. It's my Spanish is not too good. So,
and I'm
going to close it out. Yeah, exactly. So this is Mark and Mark, and I'm going to do the closing stand. Throw peas at the knees, no pies in the eyes, no wall balls, and you'll be just fine. And you guys listen in and have some fun. Bye.
Bye.